Hello everyone, welcome to my English classroom. Today we will deal with a poem of class 10. The name of the poem is A Tiger in the Zoo, written by George Leslie Norris. So you can understand from that title of the poem that what might be the poem about. A tiger not in the jungle, not in the forest, but in the zoo. Let us come first to the author before going to the poem. So, George Leslie Norris was born in 1921. He was a prize winning Wales poet and short story writer. He is considered as the most important Wales writers of the post war period, and his literary works have won many prizes. His famous works are Finding Gold, The Loud Winder, Phoenix Living Poet Series, Ransoms, etc. So now before coming to the poem, I would like to draw attention to this, you can say to these lines of a famous poem of William Blake. The name of the poem is The Tiger. So the lines are Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. So in these two lines, the real characteristic of a tiger is given. The tiger, even in the dark forest, is burning brightly. So the bright and a vivid stripes on the body of the tiger is like a burning, you can say, burning brightly. So it is a kind of ferocious nature of tiger that whenever the tiger remains in his abode, in his own habitat, in jungle, he is always ferocious, he is always bright. That's why it is the abode of tiger. Now come to the poem. So the poem A Tiger in the Zoo explains the agony and helplessness of a caged tiger that lives in a zoo. It contrasts a tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. So there are two kinds of aspects given in this poem. A tiger in the zoo and a tiger, the condition of tiger when it was in the natural habitat. The poet explains what his life could be if he had been a free animal. The poet has tried to explain about the condition of animals that are caged by human beings only for their fun. So human beings, for their own fun, they cage the animals in the zoo. Okay, but they do not understand the real, you can say, misery of these animals while they are in the zoo. Now come to the text of the poem. The first stanza is the condition of a tiger when he is in the zoo. Okay, so he stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. So first you should know some word meanings like stalks. Stalks means to walk slowly with pride, with haughtiness. Then vivid means a bright color. So bright colored stripes. You can say the yellow bright colored stripes, like the fire. The few steps of the cage, okay. On pads, pads means the paws of the tiger, okay. Velvet quiet. So the paws are like velvet. That's why velvet quiet means very soft. In his quiet rage, rage means anger. Now come to the meaning. So the tiger is here in the zoo. He stalks proudly, even when he is in the zoo, with his bright yellow colored stripes, the few steps of his cage. Now mark it, the few steps only. In his jungle, in his abode, that is the forest, there is no limited steps he can walk. But in this cage, he has a limited step. Means a few steps of his cage he has to stalk or he has to walk. On pads of velvet quiet. So how he walks? on the pads of quiet velvet. Quiet means silent. So when he walks, there's no sound. Okay, that's why quiet, silent. Velvet means soft. So on his soft pads, soft paws, he is walking in the zoo. That's why no sound is created from his walking. And how his condition is now? Quiet rage. He is walking, but inside him there is a rage, inside is hurt, there is anger, there is anger. Means quiet anger. So now you can imagine if you are very much angry and if you are quiet, so what would be the next step of yours? There will be a blast. Okay, like you can say before every storm there is a kind of quietness, a silence occurs. Similarly, before every kind of blast, the quietness occurs. So here the tiger is angry, but he cannot express his anger. He wants to express his anger but cannot, because he is inside a cage. He is not in his own habitat. He is not free here to express anything. That's why the anger is or rage is called quiet. Now another thing, I have marked quiet with bold letters. Okay, so there are two quiet used in this paragraph. So in this stanza. So whenever you see the tiger wants to catch its prey, okay, he always stalks very slowly, without making a sound of his step. Okay, a second quiet is the rage here, means the anger. Before the, you can say anger that cannot be expressed. That's why quiet. So here also in this cage, the tiger is walking very slowly, quietly, as if he wants to catch its prey. But he cannot, because of because that he is not free. Only because that he is imprisoned. That's why the rage is also quiet. That's why two quiet are combined here in this stanza. So first quiet is that he wants to catch the prey, and second quiet that he cannot express his anger. That's why two quiet are used. Then he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. So this stanza is about the tiger when he is in the jungle or his own habitat. So what he should do, but what he does in the jungle, he should be lurking in shadow. Lurking means to hide and to wait for something somewhere. So why does the tiger lurk in shadow? Because he wants to catch its prey. That's why he has to hide behind the bushes in shadow. Okay. Sliding through long grass. Sliding means to move smoothly and secretly, so that no one can guess that there is somebody behind the bush or there is somebody coming. That's why tiger is here lurking and sliding. So lurking means to hide, wait for something, wait for the prey, and sliding means to move very smoothly and secretly, so that the prey cannot understand that there is someone near the water hole. So here he goes in the jungle near the water body where the plump deer pass, because near the water body the plump deer, the well nourished or fat, you can say, because the deer are also in their own habitat, so that's why they are well nourished, they get everything as food. So where the plump deer pass, where the deer pass, why they pass? To drink water. That's why tiger goes to the water body to catch its prey. Okay, so this is the real nature of tiger. So in the first stanza, it is given that he is behind the bars. He cannot express his rage. He is quiet. His, you can say, steps are also quiet, like the steps in jungle. But only difference is that there was no rage or anger while he is in jungle. Okay, that's the difference. Then he should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. So here in this stanza also we can see the real nature of tiger. Okay, so sometimes what the tiger does, okay, while he is in his own abode, he should be lurking around houses. Sometimes he comes out of jungle, comes out, and snarling. Snarling means aggressive. Okay, very much aggressive and making kind of sound, a warning sound. Okay, snarling. It's not the roaring. Roaring is much louder. It's not a loud sound, but a sound to warn others that I am coming at the jungle's edge. So, in the jungle's edge, there is a village. You can find a kind of significance that at the jungle's edge there is a village means the jungle is day by day decreasing. Okay, and is also you can say snatched by the human beings. So the habitat of tiger is snatched away by the human being. That's why sometimes the tiger comes to the village because his place of you can say a residing place is decreasing day by day. So at the jungle's edge there is a village. So how does he come? Bearing his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Bearing means showing, to show. White fangs, the canine teeth we have also in both sides of us. We can say the canine teeth. His claws means the nails, the long nails. There is claws in his paws. So why does he do all these things? To terrorize the village, to scare the villagers. Okay, so that they go away and he can eat some food there. So sometimes due to our human activity, the tigers have you can say lack of food in the jungle because we snatch away his food. That's why he has to come sometimes to the village. This is his real nature. Now come to the next stanza. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Now this is the condition of the tiger in the cage, in the zoo. So now what is the position of the tiger? He is locked in a concrete cell, unlike in the jungle. Okay, so in a concrete, or you can say a concrete building or cell, he is locked, and his strength, every strength that he is the king of jungle. He has all the strength is behind the bars, so he cannot show his strength here. Stalking the length of his cage, so always he stalks. Okay, he walks slowly and proudly in his cage, ignoring visitors. So the visitors who come to see the tiger, who come to enjoy, okay, the situation of tiger for their own fun, because the tiger ignores them because tiger is proud always in the jungle and even in the zoo. It is in nature. Okay. He hears the last voice at night. This stanza is very important. Okay, please mark. He hears the last voice at night. The patrolling curs and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So this is the condition of night time in the zoo. So at night, when he hears the last voice, when the last patrolling cars move, okay. So at night also there is a kind of patrolling over the area. Patrolling means a regular watch or vigilance, okay, over an area. You can see the patrolling of the police or the army. You can say so. Patrolling means a regular watch or visit or vigilance. So when he hears the last voice at night of the patrolling cars, so after the patrolling is over, he stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Means after the day's activity, when the tiger comes to know that now it is my time, because in the daytime, every time he was disturbed by everyone. Okay, so after the last patrolling, he is now free to think about himself, to imagine. That's why he stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So now the meaning of, you can say, these two lines: brilliant eyes, brilliant stars. I will come to this, why the eyes are called brilliant and why the stars are called brilliant. First, you should know that even staying inside a cage where he knows that he is not free, he is looking at the stars, because he knows that for the stars, the sky is, because the sky belongs to them. They can say that every part of the sky belongs to the stars. Means the stars are free in the sky. There's no kind of barricade or boundary or periphery. Okay, they had to face. That's why the tiger is willing to be free like the stars in the sky. Okay, it is the willingness or wish to be liberated, to be free. In every creature on the earth has the wish to be free and to be liberated. So tiger is not exceptional. Now comes to the word brilliant. First, his eyes are called brilliant, and second, stars are called brilliant. So why are the stars called brilliant? Yes, they are brilliant because they are, you can say, shining in the sky, twinkling in the sky. So when you look at the stars twinkling or shining, it looks brilliant. Okay, a second is that it looks brilliant because they are free. And the eyes are brilliant because the tiger is inside the cage. He cannot come out of this cage until and unless the human beings let him come out. But there is one thing, but one, you can say, sense in him that can take him outside of the cage. That is what? His eyes. Even inside the cage, even being inside the cage, he can look outside of the cage. He can imagine by looking out of the cage. So by looking out at the stars, he can imagine of his freedom. Okay, so his eyes are brilliant because it can dream of the coming hope. It can dream of his coming freedom. It can dream of his coming liberty. That's why eyes are called brilliant. So he stares at his with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So that's all about the explanation. Now, come to the key points. What are the main points of the poem? So this poem contrasts a tiger when it is in natural habitat and when it is imprisoned in zoo. It's clear. On a starry night, the poet sees a tiger in a zoo. The tiger moves slowly up and down in his cage because he is in the cage and he has few space only. Then the tiger is full of rage, but is quiet in his helplessness. I told you that he is quiet. Why? Because he cannot express the anger. He is helpless. The poet is moved to pity for the tiger. The poet says that the tiger should have been in the jungle, okay, where he can catch the prey. But sadly, the tiger is locked behind bars in a concrete cell. The tiger does not take any notice of the visitors. The tiger is no longer free to move in his natural habitat. He is now in a jail or behind the bars. However, the last point must be remembered. With a hope of freedom, he stares at the stars. So why does he stare at the stars? With a hope of freedom. Even staying in a jail, inside the cage, he has the hope of freedom. He wants to be like the stars in the sky. He wants to be free as the stars are in the sky. So this is all about the explanation of the poem. In my next video, I will discuss about the theme, the message, the rhyme scheme, and the poetry devices used in the poem. Thank you.